want something more meaningful moments, opportunities, deeper relationships, and memorable experiences? Do you want to make a difference? If you said yes, a career in real estate could be the opportunity you're looking for. Guiding people through one of the most important decisions they'll ever make, the purchase or sale of their home, can be both rewarding and lucrative. Exit Realty's revolutionary compensation model, training, and technology provide you with the tools you need to start and build your successful real estate career. Call me today, Robin Collins, ROBYN Collins with Red Robin Homes at 843-557-5003. Again, that's 843-557-5003. Or visit me at redrobinhomes.com/join-exit and make your exit today.
Good morning, and great morning, guys. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Exit Strategies Radio Show. Hey, I'm your host, Cohen J. Millett, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. So, hey, if this is your first time listening to this show, guys, hey, you're in for a treat, because our mission here is very simple. That is to empower our community through financial literacy and real estate education, guys. We are legacy building. That is what we do. So look, quick shout out to those who listen to us faithfully, that tune in, listening to the show, that tell others about us. You all rock, guys. We have really increased our listenership. We are expanded around the globe. And I'm so humbled by that, but I'm also excited because that shares a belief that I have that when you bring people together for a common purpose, like-minded, you can change the world. So guys, let's keep going. So guys, look, we've been having some amazing guests. I have to rub my head every time because I'm so humbled and so appreciative that people take time out of their schedules to be here with you all. Because this is not for me, this is for you all. And so now today, look here. First of all, he is down in the Caribbean, in this alternative world, so to speak, that I so desperately dream of, just vacation all the time. I get to do this, but technically it's work, but technically it's not, because I'm having a whole bunch of fun. He is down right now in Costa Rica, guys. Yes. And he is joining us to talk about, matter of fact, I won't steal his thunder. He's joining us to talk with us all about something that combines not only a passion that many of us have, but also how to work that and turn that into a business as well. So guys, look, welcome Rodman Schley. He's the CEO of Blue Fusion to our show today. Rodman, how you doing?
Cohen, I'm just happy to be here, my friend. Yeah, Costa Rica is beautiful, but man, isn't it awesome that we can connect it so many miles away all the time? That's what the greatest thing, one of the greatest things in the world is, man. We can all be working together throughout the entire world together to become smarter, to become more educated, to become better at what we do. It's a beautiful thing.
So, Rodman, you're the CEO of Blue Fusion Capital. So if you could, for our listeners, high level, who are you? What do you do? What got you here? And then let's break some of that down for our listeners today.
Yeah, Corwin, one of the best ways to build wealth in the world is real estate. I mean, so many people don't look at real estate for what it is. It's how you build wealth, and it's how you get family wealth, and you get generational wealth by investing in real estate. And for me, I got my real estate broker's license. I was pretty young. I was 18 years old. I used to buy and flip homes when I was going to college to pay for my college tuition. And then I got to a point where I was also in the valuation industry. So I've been a commercial appraiser and a residential guy for a long time, and an investor for a long time. But for me, when it came down to it, when you're starting to build whatever you want to build, let's call it your life by design. This life by design. Well, how do I want to be living my life? So I wanted to have something that I could be doing on a daily basis that I love to be doing and still investing in real estate. So all of a sudden it was like, I'm going to start a real estate fund where we're buying vacation homes, because then I can combine my love with travel with my love for investing and build wealth that way. And here I am sitting in Costa Rica doing my thing. I absolutely love it.
Look, man, that's the thing right there. We talked about this a number of times about life by design. So if you don't mind, tell our listeners, what is your driver? What got you into this particular space? And let's talk about the fun that you're having, man.
Yeah. When I originally got into the space, so I've been in several spaces and it's always been real estate related. I love real estate. But one of the things that I was seeing is that as a valuation expert, a lot of people were buying vacation homes, but they were buying them based on emotion, based on heart. Well, I really like it there, or I know nothing, but I like going there. And the investment fundamentals behind it. They didn't understand, oh, well, what's going to be the ADR, or the average daily rate? What's my occupancy rate going to be? What are the expenses going to be? What do I need to do to market it? What I need to do to manage it? They didn't have the fundamentals. And being in that valuation space like I've been in, I really had a very fine-tuned outlook on how I would look at property. So I could go in and take any of these investment fundamentals, really break them down to a very minute basis and reduce my risk going into these markets. Number one, when you're buying real estate, there's risk, not as much risk as maybe some of the stocks that are out there, or maybe some of these startup companies that are out there. But the great thing about real estate is never going to go to zero. Your property could burn down. And even if you're not insured, you're going to have land value there, right? If we go to zero on real estate, the world's done, man. I mean, we probably have imploded.
Yeah, we're toast.
We're dust. But the thing about it is when you're making these real estate investments, it's so important to think about the fundamentals. When I started my short-term vacation rental fund, Blue Fusion Capital, and that last fund, so we actually are closing here in about 15 days. So that fund's going to be closing. We'll probably have another one opening up. But I wanted to put a fund together where we're going in and looking at these things, not from a heart standpoint, but from a real hardcore investment fundamental standpoint. So when we looked, we know exactly what our bars are. We know exactly what we need to do to reduce risk. Well, you can never eliminate risk, but boy, you can sure do the right things to reduce it. And for me, again, it was that thing about, I want to be doing stuff that I love doing in life. And I've always loved real estate. I've always loved investing. And so adding those two things together where you're bringing the travel into it, and it gives me the opportunity to go to the most beautiful places in the world, look at real estate, understand their fundamentals, invest, and do what I love. And I mean, man, somebody asked me the other day, they said, what's next for you, Rodman? I said, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm getting up every day. This thing's checking every single box for me. You know, we're doing great things with the fund. We've got great properties, and I'm seeing beautiful places all over the world.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So what's the true advantages? And I mean, you touched on, I believe, like a few that you might pull out or bring out, but what's the advantages for someone to consider this realm? I mean, again, your lifestyle by design, you're traveling the world, you're having a great time in various places around the globe, but then you also, to be frank about it, you're paying for your lifestyle. So what's an advantage or additional advantages for people to consider this arena?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what your long-term objectives are. So if I'm somebody, say I'm in my 30s, 40s, whatever, you're thinking about where you want to be and what you want to do. Maybe you do fall in love with an area and you go, you know what, someday I want to retire here. Or someday I want to be here permanently. Well, you can wait. Okay, let's wait 10 years. Let's wait 20 years. Let's wait 30 years. But what's going to happen is those markets, you know how it is, just going to appreciate. Real estate's very cyclical. So you're going to have the ups and downs and the cycles. But at the end of the day, chances are you're going to have something that's worth a lot more than what you bought it for when you bought it. So you can either wait and then retire and then buy that property, say in that 20 years, at whatever that market price might be, or you start looking at getting into these properties today. Okay, I can get into it today. I can be renting this thing. I can be cash flowing the property. Somebody else's money could be coming into my pocket and I could be putting it in this piece of real estate while I'm getting ready to retire. And then when I get to that end of that journey and I'm ready to retire, chances are I might have a 100% paid off piece of property that's inflated over that 20 to 30 years, you know, but
exactly.
But you got to think long term. A lot of people don't think about the long term component of that. They think short term. I'll buy it now. I bought a property in Keystone, Colorado back in 2002. Loved it. Bought the property. I paid, I want to say I paid about $375,000-ish for this cabin up in Keystone, Colorado. And I sold it. I'd say I sold it and made some money. I made good money on it, but I sold it like in maybe 7 years. But I went back the other day and looked at what that same property is selling for now, and it's darn near $1 million. So by selling that early, instead of just keeping it in the rental pool, I probably left about $500,000 on the table. And it just shows you what, if you're looking at buying right now and getting into the markets right now, people always think that today is expensive.
Yeah.
But Think about if you would have logged, let's say you logged $1 million into real estate back in 2008 and 2009 in the last crash. Think about where that would be right now.
Yeah, matter of fact, you probably will definitely 10 times it by now, based
You'd be
upon
retired
appreciation and all
for
that
sure.
stuff. Yeah, easily. So Rodman, what your group? So you guys take investors and they contribute to the fund. What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So the current fund, like I said, the one that's getting ready to close is a Reg A plus, meaning that we can take both accredited and non-accredited investors in.
Okay.
And we did it on the first one. There's another option called a Reg D, which is just for accredited investors. But on this first fund, I've had so many friends and family for so many years that have wanted to put money into me and have me invest it for them. And a lot of them aren't hitting that accredited status. So for me, this first one was more about my friends, my family, about people. Is okay, if you want to get in, you've been wanting to invest with me for a long time, here's the one. Do it now. The next one will probably be a Reg D, which is a little bit easier to manage and such. But for us, we took in funds. We go out, we look at the properties, we go into these markets, find out where we want to be, look at the investment fundamentals, see what the locations are looking at, see what kind of returns we think we can get. For example, this one I'm sitting in Costa Rica right now, this is a part of the fund. We came down here. This has 6 separate villas on the property. It's got a central pool. It's got a yoga platform, a 2nd-story yoga platform. It's sitting about, I get up in the morning and I walk to the beach. It takes me about 5 minutes to walk to the beach. Or
That's awesome.
It's perfect. And we bought this property down here because the investment fundamentals, it was selling for a 15% cap rate, meaning our cash investment, we were going to get a 15% return right out of the gates. And so we bought this property for $950,000 down here. And already we're seeing the appreciation of what we've bought. We're already seeing it rise. And so for us, we look at a property like this as just being perfect because we're getting good returns. And for us, we didn't even take any lending on this one. We just bought it straight out with the fund. We get those really good returns.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So your strategy on these are, you guys hold them, is there a certain amount of time or it's like just indefinite? What does this look like? And are the investors in the fund? So the fund owns it. So the investors in the fund continue to receive their returns. If someone cashes out that has changed anything, what those things look like?
Yeah. When you get a real estate fund like this, I tell the investors, plan on a 7 to 10 year hold. So don't put money in that you feel like you have to take out before the 7 to 10 year period. And you know how real estate is, it's very cyclical. And we say 7 to 10 years because if we're not peaking in year 7, but we think we're going to be peaking in 8 or 9 or 10, we want to have that flexibility to go, okay, we're going to liquidate when we're peaking. Now, for the investors, and a lot of these people, a lot of the investors that come in are also, they've got a sophistication to them. So we've got a very sophisticated pool of investors who understand the cycles of real estate. And there's a lot of valuation experts that are actually in this fund because that's the world I come from also. So they're people who really understand fundamentals, really understand what we're trying to accomplish. But yes, they'll hold typically for 7 to 10 years. We're always looking at, of course, when we do our analytics, we're very conservative. Like the appreciation rates in this market have been significant. Things have been going up dramatically in this part of Costa Rica, but we don't pencil the fundamentals out like this. When we're penciling out our analyses and we're looking and doing our due diligence, I put a 3% appreciation rate on everything. I always overinflate my expenses. I underestimate my rental income. I'm that conservative, crusty guy who says, you know what, I'm going to go the bare minimum. And then you still have to make it over to this threshold for me to consider you.
Exactly. I love that because Rodman, that's oftentimes you can be over aggressive and misstep, but you're going to be less likely to have an issue or problem or challenge if you focus on being conservative, meaning that you overestimate your expenses and underestimate, quote unquote, your returns as a whole. If the numbers still hold and still work, then you got a pretty decent or solid investment there. So Rodman, you got a TV show. Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah. So if you don't mind, share some information about that with our listeners. Where are you? Name of the show, all that stuff.
Yeah, we did this, and this is kind of a show that came out of, you can call it a midlife crisis, you can call it whatever you want. My wife we have a flower farm in Denver, Colorado. So it's an urban flower farm. We're on about 3 acres, but we've always been kind of into the sustainability. One of those things where it's been important to us to make sure that, you talked earlier about giving back, how you're doing this show to feed people and to give back. And that's what life's about. You always got to be leading with service. You always got to lead by taking care of all these wonderful things that come into our lives. And I've always felt like we need to do that in terms of even our sustainability. So we have a television show called Urban Conversion, which is on PBS. It's been airing on PBS, I'd say for about maybe 8 years now. We've got another 3 years on our contract. But we teach people how to be sustainable in urban areas. And the season 3 that we did on that actually followed us as we built out our flower farm. And again, just another real estate investment. It's a flower farm. It's just like McDonald's. McDonald's says that they're in the hamburger business, but they're in the real estate business, right? They make more money being in the real estate business. But I've got another show that we filmed down here in Costa Rica called Vacation Property Secrets, the same title as my book, where we're showing people how to buy vacation homes. So we go into a market like this, we go into different communities, we do a full analysis on these communities, and then we look at different real estate pieces that we're interested in buying. And then we compare them, the investment fundamentals for each one to show, okay, this property is going to get us based on these expenses and these income estimates. It's going to get us this return. And we do that for 3 properties. And then at the end of the day, whichever one has the best fundamentals and the truest opportunity in terms of investment fundamentals, we buy. And so, wow. Yeah, that's a show that we're working on right now, hoping to have that one coming out the first of the year. But we're talking to the networks on that one right now.
Awesome. So let's talk about the book, Vacation Property Secrets, the Insider's Guide to Investing in Vacation Properties. I understand what you're trying to accomplish as far as just give people this introduction into and those little behind the scene things, but give our folks a teaser on that, Rodman. What will people really get out of that, out of the book, out of the text?
Yeah, Corwin, so I know that you had the same mentality. I can feel it in how you introduce yourself and introduce the show, but it's one of those things where for me, there's 3 phases in life. And that first phase in life, you're learning a lot. You're getting up, you're learning, you're exploring, you're growing, you're trying to figure out who you are, you're trying to figure out how to do things. And then there's phase 2 where you get locked in. You'll never know everything, but you start figuring it out and you start rolling into life and you're getting it. You're really clicking and going on. But phase 3 is that part of life where you want to take all that knowledge, all that information, everything that you've learned, everything that life has blessed you with, and you want to send it back down. You want to send it back down to that guy who's sitting there in phase 1 or chugging through phase 2. And for me, Vacation Property Secrets was taking all this knowledge and these fundamentals and helping people in those first phases who are trying to figure it out. Instead of making that crapshoot when they go look at a property, how can I really look at investment fundamentals? How can I really take and dissect what I'm doing fundamentally to make good investment decisions? That's what that book is packed full of. I mean, it's sitting there going, this is the blueprint. This is what you need to do. And it's from nuts to bolts, or what do they call it? Soup to nuts. I don't know anything this, but it's got everything in it that's going to take you from point A. Where do I start? What do I need to go through? And how do I get to that finish line and make a really educated decision where I've reduced my risk when I'm buying these vacation properties and having a really fulfilling experience?
That's interesting to talk about that fulfilling experience. Was in a conversation not too long ago where basically people need to have a win. If they're not having a win, if they have a bad, negative, otherwise less than a static, if you will, experience with whatever, then they're less likely to continue with it. Reading for our listeners, guys, taking this information in and applying it will enhance your opportunity, increase the opportunity for you to have a success. And when you got to win, you keep playing. But some of y'all, matter of fact, my homeboy reminded me the other day when we were kids that, look, if I brought the basketball to the court, if I'm not playing, y'all ain't keeping my ball. I'm taking my ball and going home.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. He reminded me of that the other day. It was hilarious. I was like, well, you're right. Yeah. I might sit one game, but y'all ain't gonna keep my ball out here on this court all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, we ain't doing that. So, Rodman, the mindset piece, because people got to have a right to have the mindset for not only this, but success in any endeavor.
Yeah.
What do you find to be one of the things that challenges a lot of people with starting maybe on this vein or what have you?
If you're going down the investment, and I've got another book out there that just came out called The Outlier Mindset. So it's funny you talk about that, but mindset's so critical. Everything that we do, it really starts, number one, the first thing I tell people is get aligned with your purpose. If you're sitting there getting up, doing the stuff in life you don't want to be doing, the same thing, getting up in the morning, going to that job you don't want to be at, coming home, getting some dinner, getting some rest, getting some time with the kids, going to bed, and doing it over and over again, find a way to pull yourself out of that. Find out what's important to you, number one, because a lot of people don't look far out. They look at today, they look at what they need to do. And it's easier said than done, because I know there's the bills to pay, there's the mortgage, there's the kids, there's the wife, there's all these things. Of course, for me, there's the wife, but there's also that husband if you're on the other side of that equation. You really need to figure out what's important to you. And I always tell people the first thing that you got to do after you've got that purpose is get your mindset right. Know that you can. Start cleaning out. And that's the people that are around you and supporting you in your life or not supporting you in your life, making sure that you are aligned with the people that are going to really get you to where you want to be going in life. And number two, I tell them they got to get themselves, you've got to be physically ready for the job because quite honestly, so many entrepreneurs don't understand how tough a business is going to be. If you start doing things, if you want something bad enough, they think, well, I'm going to go quit this job and I'm going to work less. And I'm like going, oh, no. You're going to quit that job and you might work twice as much. And you got to physically. So what you're eating is important and how you're treating yourself, your body, because it'll also have an impact on your mindset. But I always tell them too, the other thing you need to do before you start building that life by design is you need to make sure that you've got your money right. Because so many people will go and say, I'm going to quit that job. I'm going to go put that shingle out and I'm going to be in business and I'm going to make more money than I know what to do with. But they don't understand that it takes time to find that success when you're an entrepreneur. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes you getting up every single morning and working relentlessly toward what you want. And what happens is they run out of money after about month 2 and so I failed. And it's you did not fail. You just didn't have your money to get you around that next corner, to find that success, to find that next thing that you needed to be doing, to find that successful place. You missed it because you weren't financially set up. So you get those 3 things in line and you start working. And somebody might say, well, what do I need to do to get my money? Well, start as your side hustle. You want to invest in real estate? You're excited about real estate and investing? Great. Don't just go quit the job and start investing in real estate. Think of that job as your greatest funder of your investments, of your business. And then make your side hustle, make you have to quit that job because you just don't have time to do it anymore.
That's profound. Sometimes, man, entrepreneurship as well as I do, Rodman, that, oftentimes we jump and then we build a parachute. That's what we do.
The entrepreneurial way.
Yeah, let's go. Just go. At the same time, it's always advisable to try to do it the opposite way, be fully prepared as you see and look to do these things. So, Rodman, not only you do books, all the stuff, you've had other businesses, etc. Now you help people. How can people reach you, get in contact with you to get into this realm and this world?
Yeah, if you want to get into the vacation kind of the realm, like you said, you can go to vacationpropertysecrets.com where you can find, I've got a mastermind in there and I teach all the fundamentals. So I've got a group that you can join and be a part of. We do webinars, we do workshops, I've got a community in there. I've got a boot camp class. I've got a master class, kind of everything that you could want. And the reason that I put that together, again, it's all about trying to make sure that people start buying on fundamentals, start getting back to the basic. If you want to reduce your risk and maximize your profits, you got to buy on the fundamentals. And then on social media, people can find me. My handle is @GoRodman. And just because my last name is such a bear, Go Rodman seems to be the best place to find me on all the social media.
Good deal. Good deal. So for our listeners, guys, I'm checking out the website. Look, let's not even limit ourselves to just saying we're going to give Rodman so much traffic that his web provider is going to say, man, I don't know what you did, but
shut me down.
Again. Go buy something. Go take a look at what he's offering, the boot camp. He's got the deal analyzer in there, bonuses and things to subscribing. Guys, look, we got to stop. We got to make an investment in ourselves. And an investment isn't you trying to spend all your time trying to find out a way to do something for nothing. The investment is taking the expense and taking the knowledge and applying it, and you'll make more money than what you ever thought you could save. All right. So guys, look, let's stop playing. Let's get at it. Rodman, I call this one kind of my mic drop question, right? It's like that question, the hindsight one. I'm pretty sure that you started with this early, so you probably don't have a major gap between, okay, look, if I'd have done this way back here, how much different things would have been. But inevitably, I know there's something. So if there was something that you could tell your 18-year-old self to do that you've learned in the way, what would you be telling your 18-year-old self? Hey, look, man, you might want to be doing this because this is going to change your world.
Corey, you know what I love about that question is that is the exact same question that I asked to end my podcast. That's a brilliant question. It's the exact same one. And nobody's ever asked me that one. What I would tell people is as you go through your journey, number one, put purpose before profit. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made is at one point in my career, and I had about 13 companies going at one time. It was too much. I was very average at 13 companies instead of being great at just a couple. But the problem was, I was putting profits before purpose, what was important to me. And it came to me one time that I needed to get up and I needed to change that. I needed to start getting up every morning and making sure that everything I was doing was heartfelt first. It had to be led with my heart and not the money. Knowing that the money was going to follow and trusting that the money would follow if I was really being exceptional at what I loved in life. And so I would tell that 18-year-old self to get up, be true to himself, find out what he wants, identify that purpose, and then get up every single day and build your life by design. Don't let other people build your life for you. Don't let them tell you how you should live, why you should live, what you should be, what you should do. You do that. You got one shot at this. You got one shot at this. And it's going to go by like this. It goes by so quickly. So get up every single day, drive toward what you want, love a lot of people, lead with service, and just live a strong life around what you want to be doing.
I love that. I love that. So, Rodman, I want to thank you. We've quickly come to the end of today's show. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing your insights, your information, and most importantly, your passion with our listeners. It means a lot to me, because I know how busy you must be.
Yeah. I love it. This is what it's about.
So for our listeners, guys, look, y'all got some amazing information, some great content, and most importantly, some very easy to apply information. Okay. So I want you to take all of that and I want you to spread that. Make this your path that you begin to follow today, guys, because this is what you can do versus what you have been doing. So guys, let's look at this. Let's not tarry, but let's get to work. So one more time, Rodman, again, thank you. For our listeners, you know I love you. And you know I always end our show this way by telling you that. So I love you. I love you. I love you. And we're going to see you guys out there in those streets.